Alright boys, another video, which means more free picks. I'm extremely excited, finally get to bet on the NFL. There's not a ton to bet on anymore because it's in the playoffs, but recently we've been doing pretty good. 10-5 in our last couple of videos, 66% win percentage, really good. But to be honest with you, I think we're going to do even better today with our NFL picks. I'm always more confident in the NFL. I watch the tape, I know these teams like the back of my hand, and I really think we're going to be able to hit at least 4 out of 5 of the picks I'm going to give you today. I researched all of them quite a bit, so all I ask is you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want more free pick videos just like this, go do that for me. It would really help me out. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the first pick. So, first things first, let's head over to Prizepicks. And the first pick that I want to give to you is that guy, Jaden Daniels, to go over 227 passing yards. As you can see right here, he's hit over this line in 3 of his last 5 games, with 2 of those games being in the last 2 playoff games, and one of the games where he didn't go over being in a game where he only played till halftime. So in reality, he really hit 3 out of 4. And then when you go over here and you see that he's hit this line super consistently as well. Obviously, in the last 10, he hasn't. But when you look at the last 2 playoff games, you consider that this Dallas game wasn't a full game played. It looks pretty good to me, simply because he's also playing the Eagles, and I think the Commanders are going to have to throw the ball more than usual. The Eagles obviously have one of the best run defenses in the entire NFL. You can see that right here. They allow the 7th least amount of rushing yards to running backs, so I don't think the Commanders are going to have much success in that area, which is going to force them to throw the ball more than usual, and that should get Jaden Daniels over this mark. I mean, when you look at the last time he played Philly, he threw for 258, which obviously goes well over this mark. I think he's going to be able to do that again, even if they don't win the game. Now, I also want to mention that if you don't like his passing yards for whatever reason, I wouldn't mind taking his passing touchdowns either, because like I said, against Dallas, he didn't play the second half, so in his last 4, he's hit it every single time, and in his last 10, he's hit it 7 out of 10 times. So either way you want to go, I like both of them. I think the Commanders are going to have to throw the ball more than usual, so either go take him over passing yards or go take him over passing touchdowns. Either way is a good line in my opinion. Now, what I do like is that when you go look at his passing touchdowns, they have it as a demon, so you're going to get paid out more. So if you want to take this one, feel free to take it. I like either one, and that right there is going to be my first pick. So moving on to my second pick, I'm going to go with that guy, Xavier Worthy, to go over his receptions at 5. Obviously, Prizepicks has it at 5. At other books, you're going to be able to get it at 4.5. You can also go down to 4.5 here on Prizepicks. It's going to lower your payout a little bit, but it's also going to help you hit if he just gets 5 receptions. Against the Texans last week, he went over 4.5, but he pushed 5 receptions and he had a drop, so he should have went over, but he had a drop on a catch that he should have caught. And then when you go look over here and you see that he also has hit this line in his last 6 games, you can see 1, he didn't play in the Denver game, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's hit the 4.5 over every single time. Now, if you bump that up to 5, he's obviously pushed it some, but I still love this line a lot. The Chiefs love to get him involved in whatever way they can because of how fast he is. And I also think with the way Travis Kelce played last week, he's going to have all the attention, which is going to take some of the attention off of Xavier Worthy. Now, what I also think that means is that you can take that guy, DeAndre Hopkins, to go over his receptions as well, because it's only at 2.5, which I think is extremely low. They have it as a demon here. I'm not exactly sure why. I love this line at 2.5, and I really do think it's going to smash. Now, what makes people concerned is that in the last 2 games, let me find him real quick. In the last 2 games, he hasn't hit this mark. But before these last 2 games, he's hit it 8 times in a row. All he needs is 3 receptions, and like I said, if Travis Kelce is the main focus of the Bills' defense, I don't see any reason why Hopkins doesn't get 4 targets at least, and that should put him over this mark. Now, obviously, it's a little bit risky to take both him and Xavier Worthy over receptions, so you could split it up into 2 different parlays. That's what I would do. I would put DeAndre Hopkins in one, and I'd put Xavier Worthy in one, so either way, if both of them hit, it's a win-win. If one hits and the other doesn't, you can still profit, because I really do like both of these picks a lot. He's hit this, like I said, 80% of the time in his last 10 games, with the only 2 games he hasn't hit it in the last 2, and I think that's caused Prizepicks to lower this line down a lot lower than it should be. I mean, there is no reason the 2.5 should be a demon, but if you can get a demon for this, I would take it all day long. So that's going to be my official third pick, but before we get into my last 2 picks that I'm also really confident in, I want to show y'all right here that if you just go use my code on Dabble or Sleeper, Dabble's going to give you a free 25 with no deposit necessary. So you get 25 for completely free. You can use that 25 on these plays that I'm giving you right now if you want to. Or if you go over to Sleeper, you deposit the minimum and play just 5 of it, they're going to give you $55 back, which really is a crazy promo. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they're doing it. So I would go use my code FBL that's in the top left or the top right of the screen. And then top everything off, for a limited time, I'm going to be giving away free VIP to whoever does this. So go use my code, get the free money in your account, and then also comment below if you use my code, and I'll reach out to you, get you the free VIP, where as you can see right here, we've been hitting a lot recently, and this isn't even all the wins that we've had. So I would go do this if I were you. You're going to get free VIP for a whole month, which in my opinion is a really good deal, and you can come test the waters and see how good it is over there. So go do that. I really appreciate it. And now let's get into my fourth pick, which is going to be James Cook to go under his receiving plus rushing yards number right here. 74.5 is just too much in my opinion, and you can see that when you consider that if we go to receiving plus rushing and we go find that guy, James Cook, 74.5 as the line Prizepicks has. Yes, he's hit it 6 times out of his last 10, but when you go look at when he played the Chiefs, he had 27 yards earlier on in the season, and the Bills won this game, so it should have been a game where he had more yards, but he ended up with just 27, which makes me think that there's no way he gets 75 in this game. The Chiefs are the #1 team in the entire NFL in rushing yards allowed to running backs, and they're also the second best team in the entire NFL in receiving yards allowed to running backs, so it just doesn't make any sense to me that James Cook is going to hit this over. I think if the Bills win this game, it's going to be Josh Allen making things happen, getting the ball to his receivers and to his tight ends. It's not going to be on the ground with James Cook, and that's why I like this line so much. So I would 100% go over to Prizepicks or go over to whatever app you want to and smash this under, because I really just don't see a world that he gets this unless somehow he breaks off a huge one-play run that's 50 yards or something. So that's my fourth pick there, and then my last and final pick is going to be that guy, A.J. Brown, to go over his receiving yards. Hold on. At 66.5 is what I'm pretty sure it's at. 65.5, so actually a little bit better. Now, people don't like this line because in the last 3 games, he didn't hit his over. He hasn't got the action that he usually does. But to be honest with you, against the Rams, he actually had 1 or 2 opportunities to hit this over. He just dropped the ball, which is not something I'm used to seeing from him. So look over here, and you're going to see that in his last 10 games, he's only hit this 4 out of 10 times, which obviously isn't the best sight to see. But when you go look at when he plays Washington, obviously don't pay attention to last year's. But this year, in the last time they played, he had 97 yards, so easily cruised over this mark. And the first time he played them, he had 65, so just barely under this mark. And I think that's due to the way the Washington Commanders defense is built. The Commanders, as you can see right here, have the 5th best passing defense in the NFL. But when you move over to how they play against receivers, they actually allow the 12th most receiving yards to receivers in the league, which means they're not the greatest against stopping receivers from getting yards. They're good at stopping the pass game in general, but when it comes to receivers, especially when they play good receivers, they usually allow them to get a decent amount of yardage, and I think in this game, that's going to be A.J. Brown. He's dominated the Commanders his whole career, and he dominated them the last time he played them, so I would go crush this over. He hasn't done anything in too long, and I know for a fact the Eagles are itching to get him involved because they know if they want to win the Super Bowl, he's going to have to be a big part of it, and that's why I would go over and take this over all day long. So that sums it up. That gives you 5 great picks, in my opinion, that can all hit. You can either pair them all together right here and put it in a flex play, so you 2x if you just hit 4, or you 11x if you hit all 5, or you can split them up in a 2-leg and a 3-leg, make the 3-leg a flex, make the 2-leg a power play, obviously, and you can still profit. I would split DeAndre Hopkins and Xavier Worthy up because they're both receptions for the same team. But either way you want to do it, it's your decision. I'm super confident in all these picks, but there's no way I can guarantee that they're all going to hit. But I do think at minimum 3 out of the 5 are going to hit, and I think at most 5 out of 5 hit. So like I said, pretty confident, and I really do think you're going to be happy with the results. So go lock these in and subscribe if you like free pick videos just like this. And until next time, let's go print some money.